ready for true happiness, for deep fulfillment, for feeling alive, on purpose, and in control of your life again? It's time to be the bold, brilliant, beautiful woman you were born to be. Welcome to the PurposeGirl podcast. I'm women's happiness and life purpose expert Karen Rockkind, and I'm going to teach you how to live on purpose, feel alive, and be happy in every aspect of life. I'm going to get real about my life and interview women who are living on purpose so that you can finally live yours. Welcome to the show. Hello, Purpose Girls. So years ago, when I was wanting to get out of my corporate job and to go live my purpose of empowering women, it seemed like it should have been easy because there were so many different avenues online. People were talking about making $1 million overnight on Facebook. People were saying, just use Twitter, just do this, just do that. And all these people would talk about how they had made $6 million in 6 months. And of course, for me, this was not all about making money. This was about living my purpose. But I knew that I needed financial stability to be able to do what I wanted to do. But there was no blueprint. I didn't know how. And people would say to me, well, you're in marketing, so you can do it. But the marketing that I had been in was business to business. It was big branding. It had nothing to do with how to use Facebook, how to use Instagram. There was no Instagram. So my expert today, my guest today, is a genius at starting your own business and starting it online. She herself has gone from being more than 6 figures in debt to creating a huge network of more than 12,000 women who are all out there creating their own businesses. Genecia Alluora is the founder of Soul Rich Woman. She is a woman's entrepreneur expert. She has the leading network for female entrepreneurs across Southeast Asia. She was first drawn to entrepreneurship in her mid-20s, following her time as Miss Singapore. I mean, how cool. She was beauty queen turned amazing entrepreneur helping women around the world. Her first business was establishing Coffee Nowhere, which is a specialist cafe for coffee lovers, and it's grown into a renowned retail cafe chain with a presence across 3 countries in Asia. She was so keen and excited to explore different marketing avenues and empower like-minded women that she began her own live stream channel, Soul Rich Woman TV. And today, Soul Rich Woman TV has a combined social media reach of 200,000 people. It consists of over 1,000 episodes. She's built the foundations of her current business. And recently, even though her business was established in Singapore, she has expanded into Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, and now she has a business opportunity for women around the world, which is something I'm so excited to talk to her about because, of course, our listeners are everywhere from Great Britain to Canada to the United States to Malta, you name it. Recently, she has partnered with huge companies like Facebook and Shopify to be able to continuously provide its members with opportunities and exposure to help them with their entrepreneurial journey. So I cannot wait to talk to our former Miss Singapore. I cannot wait to talk about how to start a business, and I'm excited to learn for myself. So Genecia, welcome to the Purpose Girl podcast.
Hi, Karen. Thanks for having me on your show.
I am really excited. So first, let's talk about what is a soul rich woman?
Soul Rich Woman is a woman who loves the F word, okay, who wants to experience the F word, being fabulous.
The F word.
Yeah, being fabulous, having freedom and financial independence. So that's what Soul Rich Woman is in essence.
So we're using a different kind of F word, which I love. So being fabulous, free, and financial independence. Is that right?
Yeah, being fabulous, having freedom and financial independence.
I love this. So how did you create Soul Rich Woman?
Well, I actually launched my book in 2013. It's called You Are Possible, Personal Branding Secrets. And that spin off into a women community whom I served online because I was based in Indonesia during that time. And I wasn't able to really do offline events. So I went online and then I shared with women every single Wednesday at 9 p.m. about how to do online business, how to build your personal brand online, how do you find your assets, how to build visibility online. And that went on for a year. So it was every single Wednesday. And that built a community starting from 2 women to 5 women
Mm.
to the first 50 and then the 100, and then it exploded into a few hundred women. And that was then called You Are Possible Academy. Then we went through a rebranding exercise near 2015 because they felt, the women in the community felt, that You Are Possible Academy really didn't speak to them, because we were not just only talking about all the hardcore entrepreneurial stuff. We were also talking about something that's within them, their mindset struggles, their issues, about their emotions and how they overcome their own limiting beliefs, having more courage to step out of their comfort zone. So we eventually coined it as Soul Rich Woman. And eventually everybody voted for that name. So that's how we worked into that. But overall, we have been focusing a lot in beauty, wellness, fitness, and lifestyle pillars. We only help women in these areas who want to develop their entrepreneurial skill set in these areas, or who are currently in these areas of beauty, wellness, fitness, lifestyle pillars, so that they can leverage on the skills and the academy that we have to help them to go from offline to online. Two, to help them to kickstart the beauty business. And three is to learn how to outsource, and also with the marketing automations that's involved.
Hmm. So incredible. You're giving so many women opportunity to become financially independent who didn't have it before, right? Like they've wanted it, they didn't have the model of it. And you're teaching so many women how to actually create a brand, how to actually create a business. And what I love about your story is that you did it with consistency. I'm listening to you and I thought, there have been so many times I've said to myself, Karen, just do a Facebook Live, pick a time and a date and just do it every single week. And listening to you, I'm like, you know what? Consistency is really where it's at. And so there's so much to learn there. But it wasn't always easy for you, right? Someone might look at you and say, oh, she was a beauty queen, so it was easy. But from what I understand of your story, you went through a lot of struggles. So tell us about those struggles and how you overcame them to get where you are.
I think now that I look back, when I connect all the dots, I'm really truly blessed to have gone through these challenges. Because I started when I was 14 years old to work and support myself through school, because my family financially, we were not sound. So I had to support my mom, my dad, my brother through my years. So when I teach yoga, aerobics, line dancing, to get through my school days and to pay for the books and my education and put food on the table. So what does it look like? It's like waking up 5 a.m. in the morning to go to school. And then after that, I have to finish school about maybe 1, 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And then I have to continue with project work. And after project work, I will continue with my extracurricular activities, which is like our CCA. And then after that, about 5, 6 p.m., without having dinner, I rush to the classes in a community center or fitness studios, where I conducted classes in terms of yoga, or sometimes aerobics classes during that period of time. So as a result, my whole life, I mean, my health was a little bit affected, because I was eating junk food, I was not eating well, and I was affected by this G disease. It's called the gastric. So at a very young age, I actually suffer from gastric. And then of course,
Mm,
as I grow up, I take care of myself, and I'm now so much better. um Along the way, of course, there are many other challenges. Like building businesses is never easy. I've also gone through failed partnerships. That's why I went
mm,
into the six-figure debt, as share your story about me earlier. And
mhm,
as I
mhm,
said, then again, we don't take all this setback into baggages, because I find that a lot of women hold these struggles and challenges into their kind of like entrepreneurial book. Like, oh, don't go into this area. No, let's not find a partner. But you know what? In my cafe business, it was because of partnerships. I gave myself a second chance to join and invest in a business, cafe business, and I was doing PR and marketing. The other partner was doing operations. My another partner was doing the franchise, and then the other partner was doing the accounts side. So because of this partnership, we grew our cafe from not just one, we grew to 7 outlets. We sold multiple franchises. We grew to 3 countries. And then the rest is history. We sold our entire cafe retail chain to a public listed company just 2 years ago. So
Oh,
yes,
congratulations.
yeah.
That's huge. That's huge. That's huge. I mean, so this is like really incredible. Congratulations. What I'm hearing in your story is that you took a challenge, dare I say, a failure or an issue, right, that you had with a partner, and you flipped it. Maybe you learned from it. You said, I'm not going to let that hold me back, right? And instead, you said, I'm going to do this time. I'm still going to go for partners, but maybe you learned and you did it differently.
Yeah, because you are not what you have done, you are what you have overcome.
Yes. Oh, this is so good. Okay. Genecia, I want to put like a picture frame around this. Okay. You are not what you've done. You are what you have overcome. This is so beautiful and so brilliant. I talk about this all the time, this idea of flipping our pain into purpose. Because as you said, it's so easy to fall into the negativity trap and the victim trap, right? Like, well, this happened to me and then that happened to me. And I had to work and put food on the table when I was 14. And if you stay in that loop, like that lower level, depressive, negative loop, you're not going to go anywhere. But if
Yeah.
you look at it and you say, look at how awesome I am. I was 14 doing all of that. And that helped me to learn entrepreneurship. It helped me to be strong. It helped me to be courageous. And because of what I've been through, right? It's not despite what I've been through, I'm going to be fabulous and have freedom and all that. It's because of what I've been through, I have so much strength and courage that I'm going to succeed.
Yeah, but sometimes during the journey we won't know this part. So it takes a lot of understanding and self-awareness. So if you are listening to this podcast, really work on your self-awareness. But sometimes when we are not aware of what is possible, we may discount what's our potential.
Yeah. Say a little bit more. What should people listening start to be aware of?
First, I really believe that women should be aware of what is their emotional strength, in terms of what is their capacity and what they want to do. For example, if I had not known that my strength is determination and perseverance, I would have just given up and I would have just said, "Oh, you know what? I'm a victim. My parents made me what I am now. They pushed me out to work at a very young age when people are going to shopping centers or shopping or buying good stuff where I'm still keeping the old phones or carrying an old bag." So knowing first that what you want to kind of like something that's positive that you want to be aware of, like, okay, I know that I'm determined. Can I work and expand on my strength? Can I work on this factor? Oh, I know
Mhm.
that I am always forward looking. Can I look into some videos or some books to find source of inspiration to keep me motivated? So things
Mm.
like that. When you are able to tap into your inner strength, that's when things around you are not affected.
Oh my gosh. Woman, you are speaking my language. Yes, we have to know our own strengths, right? And each one of us is different and unique. And so really knowing and I think we can look at our challenges and that can help us identify our strengths.
Yes. So you see, there is an ice bucket challenge, there's a ghost pepper challenge, there's a Korean noodle challenge. How about this year? There is a put yourself first challenge.
Hmm. Oh,
Every
this is so
day.
good. Yes.
Every day.
Every day. So put yourself first.
First,
So
yes.
and that is so it's eh, knowing your strengths, finding the books related to it, doing something along those strengths. What else is putting yourself first?
Yeah. So putting yourself first, meaning that if you want to start a business, it's not the business skills. After running a network in Southeast Asia, most common issues I find is women need to believe in yourself. A lot of the women that we know in the community are hold multiple roles as moms, and they put their dreams, they used to have a fire in their belly, but over time, because of their husband, because of the family, because of the kids, they're like, okay, that fire in the belly has to go somewhere, probably under the bed or in the closet, so it's not so
Hidden
exciting
away.
anymore. Yeah, the life is not so exciting. So I always say, put yourself first, because when you put yourself first, doesn't mean that you're selfish. It's just that having a me time, right?
Right,
Knowing
right.
when doing your manicure, doing a pedicure, say for example, or even, taking 5 hours of, I mean, 5 hours a week, let's say, outsourcing the time to get a maid to clean up the house or helper to clean the place so that you have that 5 hours to do your business so that you don't feel
Hmm.
tired, right? So that's
Right.
a there's a way of transition, right? Yeah.
Yes, it's so incredible. I mean, so often people think that if they take time, women think if we take time for ourselves, then it's selfish, right? Someone out there, I don't know who that person is, has said that if we take time for ourselves, it's selfish. And then women feel guilty doing it or feel like they don't deserve it. But there is no way to be able to be your best self for everyone else unless you fill yourself up. I mean, I run into this all the time. I don't have kids yet, but I run this business. I'm taking care of women, empowering women all day long. And I had an experience about a year and a half ago because I had a miscarriage and I found myself bone dry, that I was giving and giving and giving and had been terrible at receiving. And I
Mm-hmm.
realized it's time to put into practice what I actually teach. And I have to fill myself up first, because the more you fill yourself up, now the more you actually have to give. And like you said, then you have energy, then you have aliveness, not to mention that other people like your kids or whoever it is starts to really see a change in you and they start to get inspired.
Yes, and recently, I don't know if you watch Marie Kondo on Netflix. Anyway, Marie Kondo, life-changing magic of tidying up, the expert of
Mm,
tidying up, says to combat clutter, ask yourself, does this spark joy? If the answer is no, dispose of it. Now, clutter creates stress and distractions. So does toxic people, right? So
mm,
dispose both the Kondo way.
I love this. I love this. And let's do it unapologetically, right?
Yes.
Let's really look through our life, the people who are in it, and it is okay to put a boundary. I'm not saying it's easy. This is something I actually was just talking to a friend of mine about last night. A
Mhm.
relationship that I need to really kind of put some boundaries around. I'm not saying it's easy. And yes, there was all sorts of guilt, but that relationship is now feeding more negativity than it is positivity. And I'm not a victim of my own life. I'm not a victim to this person. We are the creators of our own life, so we can do that. So I love this idea. It's so incredible, and I have not seen that show, although I've heard of it and heard of her book. So we will put that in the show notes. So you have so many of these wonderful tips. Before being an entrepreneur, you were a beauty queen, which is so fun and incredible. I think it's fun. I don't know, maybe it's not. But these two seem really different from each other. And I think something that I know I've struggled with before, and I think all women out there struggle with, whether you've ever officially worn a crown or not, is how you show up and you show others, especially men, that you mean business. And it's not about just being another pretty face, about being a woman. How do you do that?
The biggest thing for me being a beauty queen is that beauty is indeed a double-edged sword, especially when you are in a conservative community, where women are seen or in a certain light. So winning Miss Singapore was a great achievement for me, first and foremost, as a personal achievement, and it really opened doors for me. But really, it was a double-edged sword, which means I had to work doubly hard, even harder to prove myself, to prove my worth and my skill set. Because sometimes when you're pretty and you have the skills, they look at your beauty and then they will not think that you have the skills. But then it kind of like, you have to balance that out. So when I was a beauty queen, the mindset thing was the biggest shift, because when you want to shift from a what we call, as a this position to a entrepreneur, you need to know that there are things that you cannot take things from granted. Yes, beauty open doors for you. Then what do you need to show to get through those doors and get those contracts and get those deals? So the things that we look into is taking action, really looking into quitting procrastination and looking into taking steps towards those big actions that people recognize. So I got myself, for example, because I'm Miss Singapore and I went to take my image consultant certification. So I was actually doing a lot of personal branding and grooming for customers. And I told myself, I'm going to niche. I'm going to show people what I can do. So I niche into not just anybody, but I niche into leaders, CEOs of companies, decision makers. So I started from nothing. I was nobody, but I positioned myself in a way. I choose to niche. And because of that, people started to know me. And, in the end, my clientele was CEOs of companies, really big companies with more than 600 employees, and even politicians in Singapore hired me to look into their branding and personal image during election. So, all these things would not have happened if I had not taken a step forward to change my mindset and say, let's not take a laid back way, I'm in charge. I'm my own boss. Can I take actions towards the dreams and niche and position myself so that people can recognize me for what I'm truly good at doing?
I love this. I love this. So it's really knowing, we talked before about knowing your strengths, also then about really being clear on what you have to offer, your own talents, your own purpose, and who you really most want to work with, and then taking action, right? Action is the best tool that any of us have,
Yeah,
right?
just think about it. There is always a younger and more beautiful Miss Singapore every single year. After 1 year, our reign is over. So how can you leverage on what you have, your assets, and not just, really like a bimbo and just, oh, take a title and yay, I'm the beauty queen. No. So I told myself, you can't be like this. You really have to make use and full use of what you have, and let people see your purpose and your vision.
Yeah. And so often, I hear women say, I'm too old. I just got an email from a podcast listener who said, I was feeling like I was too old for purpose. And I started listening to all these other podcasts, and yours was the last one of those that I had decided to listen to. And then after 5 episodes, she realized she started taking action. She started, creating her website and doing her purpose. And so shout out to you out there. I love you. Thank you for letting me know that. So reaction, we are never too old. We are never too gray or too unattractive or whatever it is. It's all about your mindset and all about what you have inside of you, your strengths, your talents, who you know that you can serve, and taking action and just believing that you're a boss babe and going for it. So I want to do this, Genecia. I want to dive in a little bit for those who are out there and they see this potential that you're talking about. They see and they've heard, okay, I can set up an online business, but they don't know where to start. Where do they start?
Find a mentor. Find a mentor. Really, this is the good place to start. A lot of times when women say, I don't know where to start, I go and Google, find multiple gurus or experts put together. I can tell you, you will waste a lot of time. Cut short all your school of hard knocks and really ask yourself this question: who there are three ways to find a mentor. Who are the people that you look up to? Okay, so three ways. First thing is, when you find a mentor, you need to know what is the end result, or whether this person, do you respect the mentor or not? Because
Hmm.
if you don't respect a mentor, you could adore the mentor, but whatever the mentor shares with you, you will have whatever the mentor say, 1 year in and 1 year out of the door. Okay, the second thing, when you're looking for a mentor, find somebody who has the results. Now, there are two types of results that we're looking at. One type of result is the actual result. So, for example, if you want to find me, let's say get Genecia to be your mentor, okay, because I'm really good in putting a lady's reputation online, looking into how you build a brand, find your messaging, right? So this is direct result because I've produced a result, right? The second result will be a community, indirect result, because I have a network of women in Southeast Asia. So if you want to break into Southeast Asia, you want to network with women in Southeast Asia, in Singapore, Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Myanmar, then this is the network to be in. So I have an indirect result. So you don't come to me directly, but you join me or you find someone who has the indirect result. So that's the second thing you want to be looking for as a mentor. Now, the third thing about mentoring is to find something that you want to learn from. That means, is there a person who has a skill that you really want to develop? Then go for the mentor that you are looking for. So don't just start anywhere and Google, okay, I want to start a business. The Google has everything, but because it's everything, it's nothing.
It's overwhelming.
So
Yes.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
overwhelming
So
and paralyzing.
so
Yes.
find a mentor, okay? Then follow the mentor until you develop a part of your wings and you think that you have grown, and then you develop find another mentor to develop the other side of you. So kind of like going shortcut your success. Yeah, and don't waste time, really, because you see, and we as women, we really have many things that we want to do in life. Don't waste your time and really look into finding a mentor so that you can really shine and stand up and be more visible in the quickest time possible. At whatever age you are, at whatever circumstances you're in, you can do it.
Mm, incredible, incredible. Thank you. That's incredible advice. I know that when I was trying to do this on my own, I totally was just stuck. I wasn't really going anywhere. Like you said, there's so much information out there. And so I had seen a friend of mine who was kind of rocking it out. Like I just felt like she had more confidence. I felt like she was working on her side hustle. This is years ago when I was still in my other line of work. And I was like, Susan, what are you doing? She said, well, I hired a coach. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I need a coach. So I called her guy. And of course, at first I heard his fees and I was like, oh no, 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 no. I can't do that. And then another month went by and I hadn't been taking action, right? Another month went by and I was still stuck. And I realized I'm not getting there on my own, right? And so I wanted someone who has done it, who has been successful at it, who knew the right questions to ask me, who knew the right exercises to give me. And it is what really started moving me forward. So that is incredible, incredible advice. So let's also talk about the people who want to have an online business. So one of the things that you have done really well, in fact, that's how you ended up on my podcast, is you have put yourself out there to find speaking opportunities. So how do people out there do it? They want to write an opinion piece, they want to be on a podcast, they want to get their wisdom out. How do you do it?
So first of all is to identify what you want to achieve in that single year. So I told my team every month we must achieve 2 to 5 maybe speaking opportunities. So from the 5 speaking opportunities that you want to do, you reverse engineer how many pitches you need to send out every single month. So you need to begin with an end in mind. And then a boss lady is someone who knows what she wants in the world. She will not stop until she is satisfied. She never settles for anything less than everything. She speaks her mind in every situation. She stands up for what she believes in and won't stop until she is finished. So this is how you stay ready to achieve your success, to be visible online, so that you can always stand up and be the woman that you truly deserve to be.
Love this. Boss lady. This is so brilliant. And I say fake it until you become it. If you are not feeling that confident, you are not feeling like you are that boss lady, you just start writing yourself an affirmation 100 times a day. You write it in lipstick on your mirror, you take your shoulders, you put them back, you walk into every situation like that boss lady, and you know that you can do this. So
Yeah.
what have you found, Genecia? How many do you have to put out in order to get the 2 to 5?
So depending on what you want to do, there's probably about 20 to 30 that you have to keep pitching to. And like for us, we're in Southeast Asia, and my dream was to get into CNBC and Forbes, and eventually we did. It was not done within like a month, right? It was done over a period of time, and you need to reverse engineer what do these publications want to see, and how can you be that persona or personality, eventually letting these media pick up on what you have. So this really is very important. Always begin with end in mind. And like what you shared earlier, Karen, is like you fake it until you make it or become the boss lady. Yeah, that's true. You have to do that. And then from there, you need to sit down and then work with your team to use a project management tool, to really look into the communication between yourself and the team. Or let's say if you're a solopreneur, list everything out. Don't discount. Don't say, oh, nobody's gonna listen to me. Nobody's gonna buy my story. Nobody's gonna hear me out. I think I'm too small. I'm not good enough. So quit all these noises, really, because who is to say that you're not good enough? Let the reporters decide, let the publication decide whether you're good enough or not for them.
Exactly. Amen. And the more you put out, someone is going to realize that you are absolutely good enough because someone's getting on there. So it may as well be you. It's just a matter of putting out a lot and allowing some rejection or people not responding. I mean, when I was just going through the book proposal process, I just kept saying to myself, J.K. Rowling, because J.K. Rowling was rejected from every publisher that she sent Harry Potter to. And if Harry Potter could be rejected, then it's okay to handle reject. It's okay to have be rejected. Keep going, right? This is huge. What
Yes,
about
definitely.
what about branding, right?
Mhm.
People don't know where to begin with their brand visuals or a website. What do they need to do?
For branding, I think the first thing is to get your key focus of your messaging right. Okay, so messaging means like who is your target audience and being who is your target audience. I think it's quite cliche, like who is your target audience, but more of like, is it one person? Like I always believe, sell to everybody, sell to nobody, speak to one, speak to many. So always write down this person, don't write many people, because when I was when we were always talking about this in business, a lot of the women tell me, oh, Genecia, we want to target 25 years old to 55 years old. Oh, hello girl, this is too broad. So yeah,
Because
so
different life circumstances. I mean, those women are going through everything from considering a date to, menopause. So
yeah, precisely,
right.
like wake up, man. Okay, so
Mhm.
list down who this person is, like write down as though this person is your friend. So maybe, for example, this avatar or this ideal customer is a mother of two. She loves to read Cosmopolitan. She don't really have a lot of time, but she has about 2 hours a day to do something for herself. Okay, so when you are
Mm.
able to craft out something like that, that's when you know how you can craft your online social media post to really communicate with the audience out there. And especially now that online is really very noisy. There is millions of Facebook accounts out there, millions of Instagram accounts out there, and LinkedIn is just booming. And where do you stand? So this is most common a question that I always get. Oh, I mean, how do I even start? Even if I start a new Instagram account today, nobody's gonna follow me or nobody is gonna read my thing. That's when the C words come into play. The C word is consistency. So when you are able to start small, okay, just get start. Like for example, you earlier on you shared a Facebook Live or blog post, okay, or a social media post. Don't just post for the sake of posting anymore. Like brand colors and everything is just the later part. If you can't even get people to notice you, you can have the most beautiful design and colors and website, but you don't speak to the hearts of your customers, they will never be able to come to you and pay you the money that you want to sell to them, whatever the product or services.
There are so many good nuggets there, Janisha. I mean, there's so much there, right? So, first, I want to, everyone, if you are wanting to start a business, I hear this all the time. And I myself used to think this like, but I don't want to leave anyone out. But I want to, no, 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 no. It's like you speak to one person, you have your one person, and then everyone will hear you. I know it sounds backwards, but that is huge. The other thing I'm hearing you say is that we absolutely social media is wonderful and incredible, and it's a huge opportunity for us. And it takes consistency, right? So, more than worrying about if it's pretty, more than worrying about, right? Make sure that you have a message that resonates, that speaks to the heart of the people that you want to connect to, and be consistent with it. This is huge. So I know that you have been creating opportunities for women to start their own businesses for a long time, Janisha. And one of the things that I know you've been getting into is creating an opportunity for women to start making money online in the beauty business.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Before I say anything else, I just want to encourage you who's listening in to keep going until your bank account looks like your phone number.
Oh, this is so good.
Okay, so the beauty business is called Beauty Now Here. Beauty Nowhere to Now Here. A beautiful journey. So basically, it's a beauty business that any women around the world can get started with a nominal monthly fee. Okay, but they will have no overheads, no logistics, and no manpower, which means that they will have list of 1,000 beauty products, authentic beauty products from brands like Rimmel, Max Factor, L'Oreal, and many other big brands that are working with us. Okay, authentic brands, they are listed on your e-commerce website the moment you sign up and you join us. So when the reason why I'm doing this is because a lot of the women that we are working with in the platform, in the community in Southeast Asia, they are all over the place. They don't know where to start. And sometimes when you want to start a business, you don't have enough budget to, go to the suppliers and say, what's your minimum order quantity? And then they're looking at, I don't have enough dollars to do marketing, or they don't have this or have that. And sometimes it really pains my heart because our mission is to empower millions of women, especially in Southeast Asia, to really open up their entrepreneurial mindset so that they can really make their first $10 online, the first $100 online, their first $1,000 online. So this beauty business is like a beauty out of box business where anybody, any woman who wants to start a beauty business, and without logistics, without any worry, whether the products will be delivered, everything is going to be delivered to your customers directly. So Rich Woman is going to do all the delivering. All you need to do is just to know how to master your social media. And that's the one skill you need to learn that will pay the bills.
Wow. Wow. What an opportunity, right? If a woman doesn't know where to get started, especially those of you out there who are really interested in beauty and that's what you're passionate about, what an opportunity to just have kind of a business in a box way to get started. So where does a woman find that if she's interested in learning? And it's not just for Southeast Asia, right? It's around the world.
Yes. If you are interested, you can just go to beautynowhere.com. BEAUTYNO, as in no. So now, NOW, here, HERE.com.
Beautiful. And of course, it's in the show notes as well. And this really reminds me, I think back, Genecia, to your very humble beginnings when you were 14 and you were putting food on the table for your whole family, which is such an incredible story. And how many women out there do not have the role models, do not have, it seems like, the opportunity. And what I'm hearing is that you're giving women who are where you were an easy opportunity to create their own financial abundance and create their own freedom and create their own life. And that's really powerful.
Yes, and we just want to shortcut the journey for women. Yeah, because I have gone through a lot and I just want to help as many women as possible to live the F word, being fabulous, having freedom, and financial independence.
I love it. It's a whole new series of F words for us. It's just brilliant. It's so good. It's so good. I love this. So this is incredible. And I know that you also have a Facebook network, right? Where women can find you?
Yes, in fact, everybody can just go to soulrichwoman.com. The links are all there. The group is there for them to join. So SOULRICHWOMAN.com.
Awesome. And of course, that is in the show notes as well. So, Genecia, something I like to do with all of my guests is something I call a purpose power play round. I'm just going to ask you a few quick questions, whatever's the first thing that comes to your head. Are you game to play?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Question number 1. Of course, you've written your own book, which we have a link to in the show notes. But other than your own book, what is one book that every woman listening to this should read?
50 Ways to Change Your Mind and Change the World by Chuck Spezzano.
Ooh, no one's mentioned that one to me yet. Okay, I've got to check that out. I love it. I love it. I love it. And tell us, when did you read that?
This one, I read this in 2006.
Oh, so a while ago, and it's remained your favorite.
Yes, because it helps me consistently to put yourself first.
This is so good. Okay, I'm going to have to go get this. Okay, amazing. Okay, second question. When you were a little girl, maybe even before you were teaching yoga and aerobics, what did you want to be?
I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur because I find that entrepreneur is like very sexy.
It is sexy. That's so true. That's so true. A woman who is fabulous has freedom.
Yeah, my uncle is an entrepreneur. My parents are not, but my uncle is, and he always have a lot of time for me. So I just felt that I also that really inspired me.
Oh, it's incredible. I love it. And you were from such a young age. Okay, our last question. So it's 5 years from now, and I'm in Singapore, and I'm walking down the street, and I bump into you. Tell me one fabulous thing going on in your life.
We've gone public listed.
Ooh, So juicy. That's so good. I love a woman with who knows what she wants and has these beautiful dreams. Well, so shall it be, Genecia, or even bigger and even better. You have given us so much insight, so much to think about, and so many actions, like very practical actions that we can take immediately to start being the entrepreneurs, to start creating the businesses that we desire. So thank you so much for all of your wisdom and all that you're doing.
Thank you. Just remember, procrastination robs you of your opportunity. So take action now.
Ooh, that is so good. We're going to leave it with that. Take action now. Everyone out there, I hope you loved this episode. I know I loved it, and I am going to be doing a Facebook Live consistently every week. You hold me to it, Genecia. Just based on our conversation, it's going to happen. So, all of you out there, thank you for listening. If you loved this episode, and we hope that you did, rate it 5 stars. Give us that glowing review. We are going to be reading reviews on air, and so I would love to read yours. I love hearing from all of you how the Purpose Girl podcast is changing your life. So go over to iTunes, leave your review, please subscribe, download each episode, and most importantly, share this with every woman who needs it. You know that you have friends, you have family members, maybe your daughter or your mother has been wanting to be an entrepreneur. So share this episode with them, because that is how we are changing the world, one woman at a time. As always, may you live purposefully. May you love yourself, and may you love life. Bye for now.